The film which you are about to see is an account of the mystery which befell an unknown man in the horrifying Paris Catacombs. First though, if you are unaware of the catacombs, well then allow me to fill you in. Once a successful limestone mine directly underneath the city of Paris, France, it's now an endless unmapped labyrinth that sits right below the city, and even stretches an incredible 200 miles, or 322 kilometers, sprawling out the entire city. And if that isn't unnerving enough, on May 31st, 1780, the basement wall adjoining the Les Innocents cemetery collapsed, leaving the cemetery unusable. This, combined with a massive overflow of dead bodies in the neighboring cemeteries, left the city of Paris with a choice of what to do with the now over 600 years of human remains. So they decided to transport the over 6 million dead bodies, many of which were already skeletons by this time, to the catacombs. At first, the drop sites were a disorganized mess, as many of the bones were just thrown into random piles. That was until at least 1810, when renovations were ordered for some kind of organization, which we can now see today. Though because the tunnels span for hundreds of miles around the city, Paris itself has now made it illegal to even enter into the catacombs, aside from the very short tours that they offer. Though this is all for a good reason, as becoming lost in them would be your worst nightmare. Which now brings us back to our mystery at hand. The film in question was shot sometime in the early 1990s, and some have even concluded more precisely in 1993, and shows an unnamed explorer having a rather nightmarish time in the dark. The black and white footage was shot with a video camcorder, and in the first segments of the video we can see our explorer walking around searching the different corridors and rooms of disorganized bones, which is telling us that he is actually pretty far deep inside the catacombs already, as when they renovated the old disorganized bones, they did so all to the front of the catacombs, while the rest of the 6 million souls were laid to rest further in the back. Also, you can tell he's further back, as on the walls you cannot see any more graffiti, letting us know that he's further back than most actually venture to. He then continues to look around all the different corridors at all the random bones, and even going as far as picking up a random skull. He then comes across of what looks like the outline of a man being stretched along the wall. Now a little freaked out, he begins to pan around the room to see if there's another corridor of which to go down, and ultimately decides to go down the right-hand path. Whether or not this was the right choice, we don't really know. Though whether because he became lost in the miles of twisting and turning tunnels, or because someone or something began to chase him from the darkness behind him, we don't really know, though he began to panic and walk faster, then turned into an all-out sprint throughout the rest of the maze, his breathing gradually beginning to intensify as he turns each corner. It's obvious that he's scared, but by what? The point of view shots become more and more disorienting as he runs from tunnel to tunnel, almost simultaneously reflecting his confusion of where he should run next as he runs deeper and deeper inside. All the while still leaving the question open, is there something actually chasing him? In all honesty though, in my opinion, it seems more like he's starting to stress out and panic from the fact that he's now in a very dark maze, and it is now set in that he cannot escape. On top of that, you add the intense darkness that he must be facing, and the intense quietness that is all around him. You can tell that the claustrophobicness of this all is starting to get to him. On top of that, let's not even mention the fact that there are over 6 million dead bodies inside these catacombs with our friend alone. All in all, as the video goes on, it makes more and more sense as to why the catacombs are off limits to the civilian populace in France, as going down there alone, or even with one friend, could spell certain doom, as these tombs become home to 6,000,001 lost souls. Then, as he turns the corner, finally, without warning, the camera simply falls to the ground and lands in a puddle on its side. It then films the man's feet as he runs away into the darkness. As he runs away, we also then see that the camcorder was his only source of light this entire time, which now means our mystery man is running around the catacombs in pitch darkness, which personally leads me to believe that he panicked after becoming lost and that he was not being followed. Regardless, the camera continues to film the darkness until it eventually runs out of tape, which means we actually never know what actually happens to our mystery man. The camera was then allegedly found in one of the deepest areas of the catacombs by other explorers a few years later. And the first time it was ever shown in public was on October 24th, 2000, when it was aired on the TV program Scariest Places on Earth, which aired on ABC Family at the time. And the first person to actually investigate whether or not this mystery was true was a man by the name of Francis Friedland, who himself was a filmmaker and also featured in the episode on ABC Family. And according to Friedland, he acquired the video directly from a cataphile who allegedly originally recovered the camcorder. Friedland and his crew would then venture into the catacombs on the episode of Scariest Places on Earth, and were even able to find certain sections that even appeared on the mystery video. Though after a certain point, they were ready to get out, and the exit that they were exiting from was actually locked, and so they had to venture the 7 to 5 miles all the way back, the exact way that they came. Luckily, they all knew the way, and it kind of tells you that maybe the person in the video actually did get lost because he didn't have an entire team with him to help track back. And now the real question is if this story is a hoax or not. Well, for one, out of everyone involved in the story, not one person has stepped up and claimed it to be untrue in the almost 30 years since it was taken. On top of that, the explorer who originally found the tape has never stepped up, making it kind of convenient that the video was even found in the first place. Also, not to mention, it was never clear whether or not the video was ever brought to the police, which if not, should be a crime as it could help even solve a missing persons case. Nevertheless, Francis Friedland vowed to never ever return to the catacombs, and even if he did, every new opening to the tunnels that gets discovered gets blocked off by Paris police officials, making it increasingly harder to try and venture into this black abyss. Let me know in the comments whether or not you thought that this was real, and if so, where do you think our lost mystery man is today? Do you think he's still lost in the catacombs, looking almost indistinguishable from all the other 6 million bodies of bones in the catacombs? And once again, thank you for watching. Remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons and turn on the notification bell for more content in the future. Goodbye for now.